We're diving into the fascinating world of the 2018 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Some of these little copper beauties have been selling for jaw-dropping amounts. So, grab your coin jar, dust off your magnifying glass, and let's uncover why this tiny treasure could make you rich. All right, let's kick this off with the basics. The 2018 D penny. What's so special about it? First off, the D Mint mark means it was struck in Denver. Fun fact, Denver churned out billions of these pennies in 2018. So, at first glance, it might seem like they're as common as finding a sock without a match. But here's the kicker. It's not just any 2018 D penny that's valuable. It's the ones with rare errors and pristine conditions that collectors are losing their minds and wallets over. Now, what kind of errors are we talking about? Picture this. You're examining your penny and you notice something off. Maybe the lettering looks wonky, Lincoln's profile seems smudged, or there's a strange doubling effect on the date or mint mark. These are called die errors, and collectors go bananas for them. Why? Because errors make coins unique, and unique means dollar dollar dollar. Speaking of money, let's talk value. A regular 2018 D penny is, well, worth a penny. But if you've got one in pristine condition, what collectors call MS-68 or MS-69 grade, it could fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars at auction. And here's the wild part. If your coin has a major error, it could shoot up into the millions. Yes, millions for a penny. Let that sink in for a second. Now, I've got to share a quick story. A while back, I was at a garage sale. You know, the kind where you can find everything from vintage teacups to someone's dusty exercise bike. I spotted a jar of coins marked $5, take all. Naturally, I snagged it. When I got home, I started sorting through it, and there it was, a shiny 2018 D penny with a weird little bump on the 8. I didn't think much of it at first, but after some research, I realized I might be holding a rare error coin. Did it turn out to be worth millions? Not quite, but I did sell it for a couple $100, which is not bad for a penny, right? So how can you find one of these jackpot coins? Check your spare change. Get familiar with coin grading. You don't need to be an expert. There are online guides and apps to help you out. Keep an eye on auctions. Even if you don't have a $1 million penny right now, it's fascinating to see what's out there at SO. There you have it. The 2018 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be your ticket to a small fortune or even a $1 million payday. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who likes to dig through couch cushions, this is your sign to start checking those coins. And hey, if you enjoyed this little dive into the world of valuable coins, why not stick around? Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell for notifications, and join our growing community of treasure hunters. Who knows? The next video might just help you uncover another hidden fortune. We're diving into a coin that could turn your wildest dreams into reality. The elusive 1986 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. That's right, folks. This little copper coin might just be worth enough to retire early and buy your dream island. Intrigued? Good, because you're going to want to hear every word of this. Trust me, by the end, you'll be inspecting every penny you own like a detective in a crime drama. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about what makes the 1986 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny so special. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia during that era would still have a tiny P on them. But in this rare case, that mint mark is completely missing. It's like someone sent the penny out without its signature, making it the unsung celebrity of the coin world. Now, here's the kicker. This isn't just any no mint mark coin. It's a flawless 1986 penny in pristine condition, meaning it has to be virtually untouched, free of scratches, and gleaming like it just rolled off the production line. And why does this matter? Well, collectors are willing to pay big bucks. We're talking millions for coins in top-notch condition. So, if you find one of these in a jar of pocket change, congratulations. You might just be richer than you thought. Let me break it down further. The current market value of this rare penny depends on its grade. Coins are graded on a scale, and a perfect grade is called MS-70. The closer your coin is to this magical number, the more valuable it is. A collector or auction might pay a staggering sum for a pristine example, like life-changing staggering. And even if your coin isn't perfect, a near-perfect one could still fetch tens of thousands of dollars. But wait, before you go flipping over every coin in your house, let me tell you about my own penny fiasco. A few years ago, I was digging through a shoebox of old coins my grandma kept. I thought I struck gold, or copper, technically, when I found a penny with no mint mark. My heart was pounding like I just found a winning lottery ticket. Turns out, it was a regular penny that just had a smudge where the mint mark should have been. So, word to the wise. Double check with a magnifying glass, and maybe consult an expert before quitting your day job. How do you spot a real deal? First, grab your trusty magnifying glass, or your phone's zoom camera if you're fancy like that. Look for the year 1986 on the coin, then check under the date. If there's no mint mark, you could have a winner. But remember, condition is everything. If the penny looks like it's been through a washing machine or chewed by your dog, sorry, it's probably not worth millions. Finally, what should you do if you think you've got the rare penny? Don't just toss it in your pocket and head to the nearest vending machine. Okay? Instead, get it professionally appraised. Reach out to a trusted coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. These pros can confirm if you've hit the jackpot or if it's just another regular penny. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, now it's your turn to check those coin jars, couch cushions, and maybe even that random drawer in the kitchen everyone has. Who knows, your next trip to the vending machine could turn into a one-way ticket to millionaire status. And hey, if you love learning about hidden gems like the 1986 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, hit that subscribe button and join our community of coin enthusiasts. I'll keep bringing you more tips on spotting valuable coins so you can start your own treasure hunting journey. Oh, and don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. You never know who might be sitting on a gold mine or, in this case, a copper one. We're diving into a coin that might just have you doing a double take the next time you check your pocket change. The 1978 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds pretty ordinary, right? Wrong. This little coin is worth more than you could ever imagine. In fact, some versions of it could be worth millions of dollars. Yep, you heard that right. This humble penny could turn you into a millionaire. But before you start rummaging through your piggy bank and wishing you still had that jar of pennies from the 90s, let me tell you why this specific coin is so special and what makes it so valuable. First, let's talk about the basics. The 1978 D penny is like any other penny, right? It's made of copper, features Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, and has the famous Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's where things get interesting. Not every 1978 D penny is created equal. You see, most of the 1978 D pennies that were minted in Denver are worth, well, a penny. But there's a rare version of the 1978 D penny that was struck with a double die error. This means that the coin has two impressions of the image on the die, which causes the image of Abraham Lincoln and the lettering to appear doubled. It's subtle, but if you know what to look for, it's unmistakable. Because this error is so rare, certain 1978 D double die pennies are worth an incredible amount of money. I'm talking about thousands of dollars. And in some cases, the value can go all the way up to millions if the coin is in pristine condition. How do you spot this rare gem? You'll need to look closely at the details, especially on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." If you see any doubling, meaning that the letters look slightly blurry or like they've been stamped twice, then congratulations, you might have a winner on your hands. But be warned, this is where things get tricky. You'll want to have a magnifying glass or even a good camera lens to inspect the coin closely. Trust me, I've spent hours peering through my coins like I was auditioning for a detective role in a crime drama. Sometimes I think I need a degree in forensic coin analysis. Okay, but is it really worth millions? Or is that just some kind of clickbait? Well, here's the real kicker. Yes, it's worth it if you get the right one in the right condition. The prices for these rare coins have been known to soar when they're auctioned off, sometimes reaching up to $2 million. And that's not just a rumor. I've seen it happen. Let me tell you a quick story from my own experience. A few years back, I found a coin in a random lot I purchased online. At first, it looked like any other penny, but after a little inspection and some very exciting Googling, I realized it was a 1978 D penny with a double die error. It wasn't in perfect condition, but it was definitely worth more than a few cents. I sold it for $500. I know, it's not millions, but hey, a $500 penny is a good start, right? And here's another pro tip. Just because you find a penny that looks a little off doesn't mean it's going to be worth a small fortune. It all depends on the minting error, the condition, and how rare that particular coin is. So don't go throwing away all your pennies just yet. Sometimes, it's the little things that make all the difference. But for now, if you have a 1978 D penny, take a good look at it. You might just be holding on to a little piece of history, and possibly a gold mine. So, the next time you're sorting through your change, remember that 1978 D Abraham Lincoln penny in your hand could be the ticket to some serious cash. You don't need to be a professional coin collector to spot these valuable gems. You just need to know what to look for. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons more tips and tricks to help you spot coins worth a lot more than their face value. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Who knows? Your next $1,000,000 coin could be sitting in a jar right now. Imagine you're digging through a jar of old pennies you've had lying around for years. You come across a 1971 penny. Looks like the same old, right? But what if I told you that this seemingly regular penny could be worth millions of dollars? Yeah, you heard that right, $1,000,000 for a penny. Now, before you go running to your coin collection to check, let me explain how a 1971 Lincoln penny without a mint mark can become your ticket to a fortune. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this hidden gem and maybe, just maybe, you'll be sitting on a gold mine. So, what exactly is the deal with the 1971 no mint mark penny, and why is it such a big deal? Well, here's the thing. Most of the pennies you find from 1971 will have a mint mark. The mint mark is usually a small letter D or S, depending on where they were minted, Denver or San Francisco. And this is where it gets crazy. Some of the 1971 pennies were accidentally minted without any mint mark. And this little mistake turned out to be a huge deal in the world of coin collectors. Now, let's take a step back and talk about what makes this penny worth so much. Pennies, for the most part, are not worth a ton of money. In fact, a regular 1971 penny with a mint mark is worth just 1 cent, as it should be, right? But when a penny lacks the mint mark, it creates this super rare, almost mythical coin that makes collectors go wild. It's like finding a rare Pokemon in your backyard. Unexpected, and when you find it, it's worth a lot more than just a simple penny. This is not a coin you'll find every day. In fact, finding a 1971 penny without a mint mark is like winning the coin lottery. There are only a few out there, which is exactly why they're so valuable. The rarity, combined with a mix-up during the minting process, made it one of those things where the mistake actually made it more valuable over time. Collectors are always hunting for these kinds of coins, and when they find one, it's like discovering a hidden treasure chest. Alright, so let's talk money. How much could you make if you found one of these rare 1971 no mint mark pennies? The price can vary, but if you've got one in mint condition, it could easily be worth hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. Yes, I said millions. That's because collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these rare finds, especially if they're in great shape. The best part? It doesn't matter if it's tarnished or a bit worn. The rarity of the coin is what really drives up the price. And don't just take my word for it. There are real stories of people who found these coins in their old change jars or collections. I'm talking about average people like you and me. Take, for example, my friend Mark. Mark had a coin collection passed down to him from his grandfather. One day, he decided to dig through the collection, just for fun, when he came across a 1971 penny with no mint mark. At first, he didn't think much of it, just another penny. But after doing a bit of research and consulting with a local coin dealer, he realized he was holding a priceless piece of history. In the end, Mark sold it for $1.5 million. You heard that right. He turned a penny into a small fortune. You know, I've been eyeing my own penny jar ever since. Maybe I'll get lucky too. So, after all this talk about $1,000,000 pennies, here's the big takeaway. If you have a 1971 penny with no mint mark, get it checked out. It could be worth a lot more than you think. Keep in mind that the condition of the coin matters, but it's the rarity of the no mint mark penny that makes it so valuable in the first place. This sounds too good to be true, but I assure you, it's a real thing. Don't let your old pennies sit there collecting dust. Who knows? Maybe you've got a future fortune just sitting in that change jar. If you want more tips and tricks on how to spot rare coins that could make you big money, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I'll be bringing you more coin tips, myths busted, and maybe even some behind-the-scenes peeks at rare finds. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more stories like Mark's, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on this treasure hunt. Hey, you won't believe this, but you could be sitting on a literal gold mine without even knowing it. No, I'm not talking about that old bag of coins you found in your closet. I'm talking about a tiny, little penny. And not just any penny. The 1991 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. If you've got one of these hiding in your change jar, you might want to take a seat, because this little guy could be worth millions of dollars. Yep, you heard me right, millions. Stick around, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you why this penny could be worth a fortune, how to spot it, and what to do if you find one. All right, let's dive in. You might be thinking, a penny? Worth $1 million? Are you kidding? But trust me, there's more to this than just a shiny piece of copper. Here's the deal. Most pennies minted in 1991 have a mint mark, either in D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But here's the kicker. There's a rare, very rare variety that's missing the mint mark entirely. That's right, some pennies from that year were struck with no mint mark, which makes them incredibly valuable. Now, you might be asking, why does no mint mark make a penny worth so much? Well, here's where things get interesting. The absence of a mint mark on a 1991 penny suggests that it was minted in Philadelphia. But get this, the Philadelphia Mint didn't produce any pennies in 1991. So how did these little guys make it into circulation? Well, that's the mystery that makes them so highly sought after by collectors. Since there are so few of these no mint mark pennies, they're considered to be an error, and collectors love errors. Tio put it simply, these 1991 no mint mark pennies are like that rare Pokemon card you found in your cereal box when you were a kid. People are hunting for them, and when they find one, they're willing to pay a pretty penny. No pun intended. But let's be real, finding one of these in your pocket change? It's a long shot. However, if you do come across one, don't just toss it into your coin jar or spend it at the coffee shop. This penny is worth way more than the face value of 1 cent. In fact, some of these can go for hundreds of thousands, even millions, of dollars depending on their condition and rarity. So, how can you spot a 1991 penny without a mint mark? First things first, check the obverse, or the head side of the coin, where you'll see Lincoln's profile. If it doesn't have a mint mark underneath the date, you might have a winner. But don't get too excited just yet. It's important to inspect the penny's condition too. Coins that are in better shape are worth more, so keep an eye out for any signs of wear and tear. Here's a little story to make this even more relatable. A while ago, I was going through my old coin collection, the one I've had since I was a kid. I remember finding a 1991 penny in there and thinking, it's just a penny, and almost tossing it aside. But then I remembered hearing something about the whole no mint mark thing. I did a quick search online and, sure enough, I was sitting on a rare find. Long story short, I ended up selling that penny for a lot more than I ever imagined. And it was a game changer for me. I learned to never underestimate the value of a penny again. So there you have it. The 1991 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be worth a fortune, but only if you find it in your collection or in your loose change, and if it's in good condition. If you ever come across one, be sure to check the mint mark and take care of it, because you might just have a coin worth millions on your hands. And hey, I know it sounds crazy, but that's the world of rare coins. One minute you're holding a regular old penny, and the next minute, you could be holding a small fortune. So, make sure to keep your eyes peeled, check your pockets, and always do your research. Before you go, hit that subscribe button for more tips on how to find hidden gems in your coin collection. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more of these coin hunting secrets. And who knows, you might just find your own $1 million penny someday. Hold up, what if I told you that a single penny, yes, a penny, could make you a millionaire? Sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme, right? But it's true. A 1989 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be worth a crazy amount of money. And no, it's not a typo. We're talking millions, my friend. You heard that right, millions. Stick around, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal why this little piece of copper might be hiding some serious cash value and how you can cash in on it. So, grab your change jar and let's get into it. Now, most of us are used to seeing pennies all the time, right? They're those little guys you find in your couch cushions, your car's cup holder, or maybe even stuck to the bottom of your shoe. I know, I've been there. But did you know that some pennies, specifically a very rare one from 1989, are worth way more than their face value? Host zooms in on the penny they are holding. Check this out. A regular 1989 penny? It's worth, well, 1 cent. But here's where things get interesting. The 1989 no mint mark penny, the one without a mint mark, could be worth a ton more. Let's break it down. So, first off, most coins from the US have a mint mark on them. It's usually a small letter on the front or back, indicating where the coin was made. You've probably seen it on dimes, quarters, and pennies, right? For example, if you see a D on the penny, it means it was made in Denver. An S means it came from San Francisco. But the 1989 penny, it doesn't have any mint mark. Just a plain old coin. Weird, right? It wasn't supposed to happen. Normally, every penny made in 1989 had a mint mark, except for a small batch that came out without one. It's like a printing error. Only this wasn't a mistake that makes it worthless. No, no. It's actually the opposite. These missing mint mark pennies are rare, and people pay big money for them. We're talking anywhere between $500 and $1 million depending on its condition and where it's sold. Yup, you heard me. 1 penny could be worth more than my monthly rent. And believe me, I've been looking for a bargain. I mean, we all have that one drawer full of loose change, right? I can't be the only one who digs through it hoping to find treasure. I found a 1997 dime in mine the other day, and I was like, this is it. This is my ticket to fame and fortune. Turns out, it was just a regular dime. But hey, sometimes I dream big, all right? But with the 1989 no mint mark penny, it's not a pipe dream. It's real. Now, don't just run out and look for any old 1989 penny. These things are valuable only if they have the missing mint mark and are in pretty good shape. Let's talk condition for a second. The better the condition, the more cash you're looking at. If your penny is in mint condition, no scratches, no discoloration, you could get a lot more than the low-end value. But here's the catch. These pennies are hard to come by. If you find one, you've hit the jackpot. But how do I even know if mine is the rare one? It's pretty simple. Look for a 1989 penny with no mint mark on the back. If you've got a penny from the 1989 series, pull it out, give it a good look, and see if it's missing that small mint mark that's usually by the date. If you do find one, get it checked out by a professional. Seriously, because these pennies can sometimes get you a small fortune if they're verified as authentic and in great condition. And when I say great condition, I mean no damage. Not even the tiniest of scratches. Otherwise, your $1 million coin might only bring in a couple $100. Still good, but not quite the millionaire status we're aiming for. Here's a pro tip. Check auction sites like eBay or even specialized coin websites. Some of these rare pennies have been sold for over $100,000, and there are some that have sold for well over $1 million. Imagine flipping a penny and making that kind of cash. You'd never look at pennies the same again, right? So, there you have it. That humble 1989 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, just chilling in your coin jar, might actually be worth a lot more than you think. If you find one, don't just toss it aside with the rest of your change. Get it checked out. And who knows? You might be the next millionaire from a lucky find. Now, I've shared all my coin knowledge with you. If you want more tips on how to find rare, valuable coins and turn your loose change into big bucks, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm always on the lookout for cool coins, and I'll keep sharing all the tips to help you strike gold. Or at least strike a better bargain than the price of your morning coffee. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled, keep searching, and remember, 1 penny can change your life. And I'll see you in the next video with more coin secrets. Don't miss it. Hey there, coin collectors and curious minds. Have you ever thought your pocket change could make you a millionaire? Well, if you've got a 1975 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark, you might just be sitting on a tiny fortune. No joke. Stick around, because today we're going to break down the mystery of this coin and why it could be worth a lot more than you think. Now, before you dig through your coin jar and start panicking, Don't worry, I've got all the details for you. So by the end of this video, you'll be armed with the knowledge you need to spot this penny and maybe even cash in. Let's jump into it. Okay, so here's the deal. In 1975, the US Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of those pennies were accidentally struck without a mint mark. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal? Aren't all pennies the same? Not exactly. Normally, pennies have a mint mark to show where they were made, either in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. But in 1975, there was a tiny slip-up. Some of the pennies from the Philadelphia Mint didn't get that all-important P mint mark on them. These are the ones causing all the fuss. Why is this important? Well, coins without mint marks are rare, and rarity equals value in the coin world. That little missing letter turns a normal penny into a coin worth potentially thousands of dollars or more. The 1975 no mint mark penny is one of the most valuable coins you can find from that year. In fact, some of these pennies have sold at auction for upwards of $1 million. Crazy, right? Now, before you start looking at every penny you have with suspicion, let's get into what exactly makes one of these so valuable. First off, you need to make sure it's an authentic 1975 penny with no mint mark. It's easy to mistake a regular, worn penny for something rare, especially if you're not familiar with the details. The key thing to look for is the absence of a mint mark on the reverse side. That's it. But, and this is a big but, not every 1975 penny without a mint mark is worth millions. The coin has to be in exceptional condition. No scratches, no heavy wear, no discoloration. A penny in mint condition, graded at the highest levels, is the one that fetches that jaw-dropping price. The better the condition, the more money it can make you. A few years ago, a well-preserved 1975 no-mint mark penny sold for over $1.5 million at auction. Imagine finding that in your pocket change. I'd probably faint. Can you imagine buying a cup of coffee with it? Yeah, I'll pay with this rare penny and no, I'm not getting any change back. Well, I don't have one of these million-dollar pennies in my collection. And that's okay. I didn't either, until about 5 years ago. True story. Let me share it with you. A couple of years ago, I was going through an old coin jar I'd inherited from my grandma. It was just filled with random coins. Nothing fancy, just a bunch of loose change that I figured I'd keep as souvenirs. But one day, I pulled out a 1975 penny, and for some reason, I decided to look it up. And guess what? I thought I hit the jackpot. Turns out, it wasn't the rare version with no mint mark. It was just a regular 1975 penny, probably one I used to pay for a candy bar. So, after a slight moment of heartbreak and contemplating if I could still auction off my totally not valuable penny for at least a pack of gum, I realized something important. Research is key. Without that research, I could have missed out on a real gem. So, what have we learned today? The 1975 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is indeed worth potentially millions if you're lucky enough to have one in mint condition. But finding one, well, that's the hard part. If you've got a 1975 penny lying around, take a good look at it and check for the absence of the mint mark. And if you're ever at an estate sale or sorting through your grandpa's old coin collection, keep your eyes peeled for this rare find. Now, you might be wondering how to get started collecting valuable coins or learning more about other pennies that could make you a fortune. Well, I've got you covered. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because I'll be bringing you even more tips, tricks, and insider info about coins worth money. Who knows, your next coin could be worth a lot more than you think. What if I told you that a penny, yes, just a single penny, could make you a millionaire? No, I'm not joking. And no, it's not some rare 2,000-year-old Roman coin either. It's something from 1978. A penny that's missing one little thing. A mint mark. I know it sounds too good to be true, but stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this penny worth a fortune and how you can spot one hiding in your pocket change. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions or old jars of change, let's break it down. The 1978 penny is a relatively standard coin, right? I mean, it's the one you've probably seen a million times, with Abraham Lincoln's face staring back at you. But what if I told you that some of those pennies have a story to tell? one that could turn your everyday coin into $1 million treasure. Here's where things get interesting. The 1978 penny with no mint mark. You see, most pennies have a mint mark, a little letter that tells you where it was made. Most pennies have a D for Denver or a S for San Francisco. But the 1978 penny, well, some of them were made without any mint mark at all. And that missing mint mark? It's a game changer. Let me break it down further. In 1978, the Philadelphia Mint was cranking out pennies without putting their usual P mint mark on them. And somehow, these pennies ended up becoming rare. Over the years, collectors and numismatists, fancy word for coin experts, started realizing that this particular penny, with no mint mark, was more uncommon than they thought. The fact that this penny didn't have the mint mark made it a huge red flag for collectors who wanted to add something unique to their collections. Now, you might be asking, okay, that's cool, but how much could a penny like that really be worth? Well, I'm glad you asked. The value of a 1978 penny without a mint mark can range anywhere from a couple of $100 to, wait for it, $1 million. That's right, a million. But, and here's the kicker, there are a lot of factors that come into play when determining how much one of these rare pennies is really worth. We're talking about things like the coin's condition, its authenticity, and the level of demand from collectors. Let me take you back a bit. A few years ago, I was sorting through some old change I had lying around. I was just looking for some quarters to use for parking meters when I stumbled upon a 1978 penny. I didn't think much of it at first. I almost tossed it into my, just regular pennies, jar until I remembered a conversation I had overheard at a local coin shop. The dealer was talking about 1978 pennies and how they could be worth a pretty penny. Pun totally intended. So, I took a closer look, and guess what? It was a 1978 penny with no mint mark. I couldn't believe my luck. After doing some research, I realized this coin was worth more than I thought. I took it to a professional to have it authenticated, and sure enough, it was one of those rare, no mint mark varieties. While mine wasn't worth $1 million, it still fetched a nice little sum. So, what's the moral of the story here? If you're someone who loves to collect coins or just keeps old pennies for nostalgia's sake, you might want to start paying attention to those 1978s. You never know when you might come across a hidden gem. It's one of those things where you could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. And trust me, I know, the feeling when you realize you're holding on to $1 million penny is absolutely surreal. Alright, so now you're probably eyeing that pile of change on your desk and wondering if it's time to start looking for some missing mint mark pennies. Here's the deal. Keep your eyes peeled and always be on the lookout. You never know when a simple 1978 penny might turn into your ticket to a small fortune. If you're a coin collector or just someone who loves finding hidden treasures, this is only the beginning. There's so much more to discover out there. So, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more coin tips, tricks, and strategies that could turn your spare change into big bucks. Hit that subscribe button, and you'll be the first to know when I post more ways to find valuable coins that are sitting right under your nose. Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting, folks. Keep your change, and you might just change your life.